Our next live English session will be on April 18th, and we'll be welcoming back Dr. Taylor Rush from the Cleveland Clinic. So let's see if anyone's guessed it in the chat. Let's see. Okay, there's a couple guesses. So today is World Parkinson's Day. Today is World Parkinson's Day. You'll see this picture on the screen that a lot of our key volunteers that joined us to take a beautiful picture for World Parkinson's Day. Today we celebrate our PD community and thank them for their support, and we are able to make a difference in the lives of people living with Parkinson's disease and their care partners because of you. So to learn more about everything we're doing this Parkinson's Awareness Month on this Parkinson's World Day, you can visit parkinson.org/awareness. And here's a list of our upcoming sessions for PD Health at Home. So next Monday, we've got Dr. Rush. She's going to be talking about the paradox of being mindful. And this Wednesday, we're doing social engagement, Smile Through Art, Part 1. And our next live Fitness Friday is April 22nd. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Light of Day Foundation, for making our program possible. Their generosity is what supports the work that we're able to do here. If you're new to Parkinson's disease or advanced in Parkinson's disease, or just want to learn more about the journey of Parkinson's disease or anything specific to your journey with Parkinson's, I always refer people to our website. That's parkinson.org. You can also call our helpline 1-800-4PD-INFO or email us at helpline@parkinson.org. So now it's time for us to get into the reason why we're all here today on World Parkinson's Day, and we're welcoming back Jacqueline Fitch. She is here joining us from Maryland. Is that right, Jacqueline? Okay, great. So she is here to help us address and transform a few things mindfully that we might be living with for Parkinson's disease. And I just want to thank Jacqueline for coming and being a part of our Mindfulness Mondays. Jacqueline, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Krista. Welcome, everyone. It is such a joy to be here with you again. It's been 2 months since I was last here, so I'm excited. First and foremost, well, our topic today is all about anger and transforming anger. But first and foremost, it's really important to understand that emotions give us valuable information. They are instructive. Our feelings are simply internalizations of what we experience and how we perceive the world around us. So everything we experience is felt in the physical body. Emotions, emotions, are simply energy in motion. So let's think about this, right? You're on a beach, you're on vacation, you're in the islands, and you witness this amazing, beautiful, brilliant sunset. How do you feel physically in your body? I'm guessing if it were me, peaceful, calm, relaxed, all is well, right? Feels really good in your body. Likewise, I want you to think about how our physical body reacts when we get really, really mad. So our face turns red, our shoulders get tense, and we may feel a tightness in our chest. And those stress chemicals of adrenaline and cortisol are just coursing through our system. So today we're talking specifically about the emotion, again, of anger, which is often characterized as a negative emotion because no one wants to be labeled as that angry person. It is the most misunderstood and invalidated emotion. So whether we're mad at someone or we're upset over a situation or over the unfairness of our circumstances, our health, anger manifests for each of us when we feel powerless. And it is a fierce and sometimes really scary emotion that most of us try to shy away from or deny because, again, we don't want to be that person who's ranting and raving all the time. But feeling all the feels is healthy. It's only when we don't know how to manage our emotions and process them that it can negatively impact our physical and mental health. And if we don't acknowledge that anger, it can destabilize us. It can harden us. That energy gets physically stuck in the body and can show up as tension in the shoulders, pain, or even worse. So if we don't have the means to release that anger, the body's physical reactions become habit forming, and it results in high blood pressure, headaches, and can ultimately weaken our immune system. But let's talk about the positives, as anger can be a powerful force. The benefit is that it can be a motivator. So anger makes things happen. When we have that fuel behind the emotion, the energy, we can transform it into constructive or assertive action. So women got the right to vote because they were angry and they protested. The March on Washington with Martin Luther King's historic speech resulted in civil rights legislation. If we're mindful, we can take pause and we can reflect on our anger. It can help us to clarify our feelings. It can give us the emotional fuel to stand up for ourselves. It gives us the incentive to take skillful action, and it energizes us and it emboldens us. So if you have paper and pen handy today, let's take a mindful Monday pause and ask ourselves a few questions. And Krista, it might help maybe if you could put these questions in the chat for me, because I'm just asking that everyone write the questions down, but take time after our session to reflect based on what we're going to discuss today. Okay, so first question, what am I most angry about? Just write the question down. Again, what am I most angry about? We want to name it. We want to acknowledge it. We have to name it to release it. So an example, are you mad at your boss or upset with a family member? Maybe you have a recent diagnosis, a health diagnosis, a crisis, and you're feeling really angry about it. And that would be completely understandable and normal. Or maybe as a caregiver, you're also experiencing those same feelings of anger and stress, which again are completely normal and understandable. All right, question number 2. Where does it show up in your body physically? So write that question down. So when you feed the anger energy by thinking about it, how does that show up in the physical body? It could be a headache. You could feel your heart racing or pounding out of your chest. You can't think straight. All right, question number 3. Why? Why are you angry? We want to get to the root of it. So simply write down the word why. So here's another example. Is it that your boss made a snide comment? Or is it really that you dislike your job and you want to leave your job and you're looking for any excuse to do that? Or you receive that medical diagnosis and you're angry because you feel like you did all the right things. You eat a healthy diet, you exercise, you think positive thoughts, etc. So why? All right, lastly, how can you assert yourself? I want you to write that down because this is what we're going to talk about today. What positive action, what first step can you take to help release your anger? So you can see that all we're doing here is we're collecting information. We want to understand that the idea is that we don't want to suppress our anger. We want to get curious about it. So by acknowledging our anger, it gives us the opportunity to develop an inner force that expands our life and its possibilities. And we want to balance this powerful emotion. We don't want to negate it. We want to transform it into assertiveness. So we often stop ourselves from taking action if we feel we no longer have a purpose or a place in the world. We can't always change what happens to us, but we can transform feelings into motivation for living our best life. We want to recognize our innate worth, each and every one of us. So we want to take action with purpose. And here's how we're going to do that. First and foremost, we practice mindfulness and detaching from our unhelpful thoughts. How are we going to do that? Well, by participating in all of Krista's Mindful Mondays, all of them. We practice being in the present moment. We name everything that is right in our world. And we ask ourselves, what could I do next that would move things forward in a meaningful way? And we learn techniques to transform the anger, to move it out of the physical body, which is what we're going to do today. So in energy medicine yoga, which is a form of yoga that I teach, we use movement to discharge the power of emotions, the energy of that anger, in a pose that we call expelling the venom. We also call it the blowout. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this all together. And I want you to think of our anger or your anger as being compostable. Okay. It's spring. This is the perfect time. It's like pulling out the weeds in the garden of your life and throwing them into the compost pile to make room for all those beautiful spring flowers to bloom. So we're going to name the anger. We're going to acknowledge it, or we're simply going to bring to mind anything that's not serving us. So you don't have to overthink it in this moment. You could just name a simple thing, like someone said something to you and it made you angry. It made you really mad. So we're going to gather up the source of that anger, the rage in our fist. We're going to take a hold of it. We're going to sweep our arms down, back behind us and overhead. And we're going to open our fist and we're going to throw that anger back down to the earth. Okay. So we're going to do that all together 3 times. So grab a hold of that rage, that anger, even if you can't think of the most angry, the thing that you're most angry about right in this second, just anything. Take a hold of it in your fist and then circle your arms back behind you and overhead. And then as we exhale, we're going to use the SH sound as we throw it back down to the earth. Shh. Might feel silly to you in this moment, but it works. Again, grab up everything that's not serving you, sweep your arms behind you, and then throw it to the earth. Shh. And again. Shh. Letting it all go. All right, really easy exercise. Sometimes I do that at the beginning of my own yoga practice. Next, this feels really good. We're going to calm the nervous system and we're going to palm the eyes. So I'm going to take my glasses off and I invite you to do the same, or you don't have to. You're going to take your hands and you're going to rub them vigorously together to generate some heat. And we're going to cup the eyes. We're going to palm the eyes as we rest the heels of our hands on those beautiful high cheekbones of yours, not pressing on the eyeballs, just cupping the eyes so the eyes can be open or closed. And if you're sitting at your desk or your kitchen counter today, you can place your elbows on the counter and just hold the weight of your head in your hands. Thumbs are lightly resting on the temples. And we're going to take 3 mindful breaths here, where we breathe in through the nose, and we're going to sigh out on the exhale. We're going to release all that negative emotion. All right, so let's begin by exhaling fully. And then inhale deeply together. And exhale, sigh it out. Twice more. And again. And release the hands. Now you can do that. You can hold that. You can cup the eyes for as long as you want, as long as feels good. It could be for 10 minutes as you sit at your desk. Okay. Now we're going to do a little tapping to get the energy moving, to release that excess emotion. So we're going to start by just lightly tapping the outside corner of our eyes. So in Chinese medicine, in the practice of acupuncture that some of you may be familiar with, this is a very powerful point on the gallbladder energy pathway. And both the gallbladder and the liver are the two organs in our body that govern that emotion of anger. So just a light tap here, eyes can be open or closed. And then let's just tap all the way around the orbital bone and continue with that deep breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And then back to the cheekbones. And then if you want, you can just tap all over the face. And you can use as much pressure as feels good to you. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And then just give a little massage to the temples here. Okay. Of course, it's always nice if somebody else can do this for you. Give you a little head massage. All right, now we're going to move to our chest and we're going to actually thump on our chest. So we're going to pretend like we're Tarzan and we're just going to tap all over the upper chest. And if this feels a little bit too intrusive to you, you can just use your fingertips, or you can even do it off the body in the field, a couple of inches off the body. So this kind of wakes up our energy and gives us that courage to take assertive action. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. So think about Tarzan, king of the jungle, beating on his chest to wake up his energy. So this gets the blood flowing, encourages your circulation, and releases excess energy. Simple, right? Really easy techniques. Now here's a powerful one. It's called the Wayne Cook pose. And Wayne Cook was a gentleman who was a pioneer researcher in bioenergetics, which is all about the study of the transformation of energy in living organisms, including us. So if you're really angry and you can't think clearly, or even if you're nervous and you have to speak in front of a large group of people, like for this event called Mindfulness Monday, I always do this before I teach, okay? So you're simply going to cross one. Let's start with the right foot. You're going to cross your right ankle over your left ankle. All right. Then you're just going to bring your arms out in front of you and cross your right arm over your left. Then you're going to turn your palms towards one another, interlace your fingers, bend the elbows, and bring the hands to rest on the upper chest. Now, if that's not accessible to you, just cross the right arm over the left and give yourself a hug, okay? Whatever works for you. 3 deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. One last breath. You'll see so many different forms of this exercise in all kinds of healing traditions. Okay, now we're going to untangle ourselves and we're going to do the opposite side. So left ankle over the right, or you can actually cross the left thigh over the right. We're going to extend our arms. We're going to cross the left over the right, palms facing one another, interlace the fingers, bend the elbows, and bring the hands to rest on your upper chest. Again, you can just give yourself a hug if this is a little bit too challenging for you. No worries. 3 more deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel the whole body expand on the in-breath and soften on the out-breath. Untangle yourself. Bring your hands together and just bring your fingers right between the eyebrows. And this is a point that relates to bladder that governs our nervous system. So we're calming the nervous system here. And release the hands. Okay. Another simple exercise, we did this in our last gathering, called connecting sky and earth. And this is basically creating space in the body for that energy to move. Really simple. Inhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart center. Exhale completely and just feel your feet on the earth. Feel this sense of groundedness. And on the inhale, you're going to stretch one palm up as you flatten it, as you reach it towards the sun, and the other palm down as you flatten it, reaching towards the earth. And then exhale, bring the hands together again in front of the heart center. Same thing, opposite side. Inhale and exhale. So just as if you're waking up from this long winter nap, getting ready for the beauty of spring, exhaling, hands together. Let's do that one more time, each side. All right, that brings in fresh oxygen. It removes stale air from the body and helps us release excess energy and emotions. All right, I think I have time for one more thing. It's another head hold. Anytime that we can hold the head, it's extremely healing to the body. So you're just going to take your hands, your palms, and you're going to rest them on your temples. Again, if you were at your desk or at the counter, you could rest your elbows. And you're going to take those deep breaths. Breathing is such a crucial part of becoming present, of being mindful. And the science here is that our hands are actually electromagnetic. They keep blood in the forebrain for critical and rational thinking. Connects the circulatory system, the nervous system, the meridian system. It stops those stress hormones from flooding the body, that adrenaline, that cortisol. And you can hold this for as long as you like. I mean, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it takes. This will calm you down in that heat of anger. All right, one more breath. And then I'm going to take one more minute, Krista, one last exercise. This exercise will help with your physical alignment of your spine, your emotional alignment. It brings you back to center. So you're going to take your middle finger and you're going to put it right in your belly button, right in your navel. You're going to take your other middle finger and put it right between the brows at the third eye. And I'm going to ask you to repeat silently to yourself 2 mantras. So on the inhale, simply say, I am kind to myself. And on the exhale, you can say, I assert myself peacefully. You don't have to use these mantras. You can just breathe. But again, if you choose to do so, I am kind to myself on the inhale, and I assert myself peacefully on the exhale. Let's take one more breath together. All right, these are just some suggested assertive actions that are food for thought for you today. So if you have any anger, honor it, acknowledge it, and maybe just set aside some time to educate yourself by attending an online talk such as this one or one of the many classes through the Parkinson's Foundation. Join a Parkinson's exercise class. You've got unlimited resources. Get outside, breathe some of that fresh spring air, listen to music, dance, whatever is gonna bring you joy. Because we have that ability to emerge from our circumstances more powerful, more renewed, and filled with determination. So here's to finding inspiration and joy. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jacqueline. I had one question come in regarding the feeling of anger. And they asked, what if we feel angry, but we don't know why we're angry?
Okay, really great question. And I think it's an emotion that is really hard for people to identify with. It's probably the hardest. So again, I just invite you to be really curious about it and to use that exercise of journaling. And, start with, how does that feel in my body? Maybe, why do I think that my heart is racing? And it's okay if you don't figure it out in the next 5 minutes or the next 30 minutes or the next hour or even in the next month. Just want you to create the awareness around that emotion, befriend it, don't try to suppress it, and just see what bubbles up. Okay, there's no right or wrong. Just continue to explore it so you can identify it. And maybe the way that you identify it is all of a sudden you realize that when you're having that conversation with somebody, your shoulders are creeping up, you feel your heart racing. So just be in tune. I hope that helps.
Thanks, Jacqueline. So Jacqueline does have classes at, you have to correct me, Jacqueline, the Maryland Retreat Center?
retreatmarylandcenter.org.
Yes, yes. You can connect with her and her yoga classes through their group. They're also a community grant recipient, so we're very, very excited to be supporting that Jacqueline and her community is offering for people with Parkinson's. I saw somebody ask if this program's being recorded. Yes, all of our programs for PD Health at Home are recorded. That includes Mindfulness Mondays, Wellness Wednesdays, and Fitness Fridays. If you want to come back to this particular session with Jacqueline, you can certainly access it on our YouTube page. That's parkinson.org, or PD Health at Home page, parkinson.org/PD Health. To all of you living with and affected with Parkinson's disease, today is a day to celebrate all the momentum that we have moving forward to find a cure for Parkinson's disease, and also to celebrate movement. So thank you all so much for your support of the Parkinson's Foundation and support of your Parkinson's community. And many thanks to Jacqueline for guiding us through this very important session today. And see you guys next Monday.